But what if things had ended at Scream 3? What if we had witnessed the death of Ghostface as we know him? What if Sidney, Dewey, Gale, and Mark Kincaid, everybody had gotten their happy ending? Let's talk about that. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh from Night Run Woodsboro Lake. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video because I had a thought to myself recently about the Scream franchise and, where it's headed, where it's been. And you know what? I thought about it real hard and I was like, I like these other entries that came along. They all have like their own special place in my heart. But what if things had ended at Scream 3? What if we had witnessed the death of Ghostface as we know him? What if Sidney, Dewey, Gale, and Mark Kincaid, everybody had gotten their happy ending? Let's talk about that. So, since the release of Scream 3, we have, gotten several other entries. We've gotten 3 other entries. 4 looked to kind of revamp the series, and then it kind of was a standalone. Invited new cast, brought back old cast, and it was just a one-off. And then so much time went by. Then we got Scream 5 and Scream 6. Scream 5, we all know, was a requel. It brought back legacy characters, had some real shocking stuff that happened in it, but kind of just brought back things full circle and just kind of like spun it in a new way. I enjoyed it. I mean, I had my quarrels with every movie. I don't think there's any movie that I'm like that was 100% perfect. I don't think anybody has that film that's just 100% perfect down to the letter, signed, stamped, delivered. Send it on off to FedEx. Let's go. But what I just thought, well, what if things had just ended at Scream 3? What if we hadn't got these other entries in the franchise? What would that have looked like? Well, for one, we'd finally have these happy endings, or at least believe that there's this happy ending. If you look at the very last scene, which I'll just show right now.
Inside.
Sid, we've been waiting for you. We're gonna start a movie.
What kind of movie?
You have to come and see.
It looks like everything is going swimmingly. Like, you've got Dewey proposing to Gale, and Mark and Sidney are getting cozy, and they're all like happy, go lucky, gonna watch a movie, and then you kind of get that door sequence where like the wind blows it open or whatever, but like otherwise it just seems like that's it. And she doesn't have to be afraid anymore. Sydney doesn't have to be afraid anymore. She tied up what seemingly was loose ends with the fact that Roman was her estranged brother and claimed that he had really puppeteered Billy and Stu and led them in the right direction to killing Maureen, their mother, and eventually trying to kill Sydney and the people that she cared about. Um, so that was kind of like that loose thread that could possibly keep things going. Is if, you know, as far as we know, there was nobody else involved. She had already, killed Bill, or Bill, kill. I guess you can call him Bill. Billy, Stu. She killed Mickey. She killed Miss Loomis. Um, and then Roman now, and that seems like it would be like everybody, unless for some strange reason Billy's father got a hair up his ass and decided, oh, Sydney, I'm coming for you. You know, that could have been another route that could have gone on. Which wouldn't have been anything fresh and new, but maybe like just the desperation of a man who's lost everything, his son, his wife, his affair, like everything. I mean, that could have been interesting, especially if he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory. Hell, we could have gotten our first ghost face kamikaze, like, run up in there. Tonight we all die, Sydney. And he just freaking rips it open and he's got like a bomb strapped to his chest. Like, what a trip that would have been. Sorry, we're getting off track here. But I think it would have just tied things up in a neat little package. And I know to some people that would be great. We all want to see these people that have been through so much get their little slice of heaven and get to live out their lives, happy and worry free after all they've been through. But then there's the other half of us, and the other half, I'm on the fence. I'm kind of both, but have the other people that are like, but no, they don't, no, let's not give them resolution. Let's just keep digging it in till there's nothing left, like, or kill Sydney, or have Sydney go out killing Ghostface and he kills her in return and they just both die. And then that's the end of it. Like, goes out, just, boom, boom, fireworks worth of WWE, like, SmackDown. It's Raw. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, I just think that it could have been interesting to just give them their happy ending. They had been through so much together as a group, and there had been so much growth and backtracking, and so many friends lost, family members lost. Dewey lost Tatum, and you had Sydney lose her mom, of course, and then she lost her friends, Randy and Tatum, and like, they've been through the ringer. So, I mean, I do enjoy the new entries, even despite the, well, I guess I could say it. I'm sure everybody by now has seen Scream 5, especially if you're horror fans and you've gone and you like the Scream films and you even went and saw 6, you must have seen 5, obviously. Dewey's death. I mean, part of me was like really intrigued by that because it was the first time that the safety net was off, or out from under them. They couldn't just fall, get back up. Dewey had the tendency to get stabbed, and like just like the perfect placement, like the second time around he got stabbed in his scar tissue, like and so many close calls, but never pulling the actual trigger. But then radio silence came in and they're like, yeah, you thought you knew Scream? Watch this. Hold my beer. And like just came in and freaking that ghost face straight up like double knifed Dewey and just drug it up, and just you see his entrails and blood just splattering on the ground. Dude went out like a boss, but like I know that both shocked and horrified many people. Um, I was part of that crowd that was really sad, but also was like, holy shit, they're not effing around anymore. Like legacy characters are free game. This is not like they always survive, everybody around them dies. It's like now anybody can die. If Dewey can die, anybody can die. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that, but I was also just like so sad because I loved Dewey's character. He was so quirky but efficient, and you could just see in 5 he had become so hardened, but there was still this little trace of that lovable character we all knew, um, from the first 4 films. Um, Especially dealing with his divorce with or separation with Gail. Um, so I enjoyed the new movies. Don't get me wrong. I just thought to myself, what if, what if it had ended at 3? Then everybody would have still been alive. Like besides Randy, unfortunately, I enjoyed Randy. He was a fun character. Um, but you would have had like your main legacy characters, Dewey, Gale, and Sydney, alive and able to start their new lives. Dewey with Gale, and maybe it could have ended better. Maybe it could have gone better. With each other. If there hadn't been 4, you could see that there was some tension and some stuff going on in 4. Uh, and then you had Sydney and Detective Kincaid um, seeming to get cozy. So, and then we find out later that it seems like, I mean, it all but freaking like flashes at you with blights and like sirens that she ended up with him and had kids with him. They say Mark, but you're like, well, what other Mark could it be? What other Mark have we been introduced to in this series that Sydney could have ended up with? Like, or are they just throwing out a name? But, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn because I've definitely enjoyed where things have gone, but I think it would have also been good to give them a happy ending. And you still can. Just watch the first 3, ignore the last 3. There you go. Happy day, folks. But yeah, next month actually marks the 20th? Yeah, the 20th anniversary of Scream 3. I believe it was released February 4th of 2004. Maybe? I think it was like, it was either that or 2000. It's so hard to remember. Just look at Courtney Cox's atrocious bangs right here. Right here. Something was up at that time. I don't know who was in charge of that crap, but yeah, you need a new hairstylist, Courtney Cox. Um, so yeah, at the risk of continuing to ramble on, I want to know what you guys think. Do you enjoy the new additions to the franchise? Um, how would you have felt if things had ended at 3 and then we didn't get 4, 5, and 6? Um, what if we had never gotten 4? What if we had skipped 4 and then the new ones would have been 4 and 5 and 6 instead of being like 5, 6, 7? And then you would have had shit. You would have had some kind of resolution, or at least the start of resolution at the end of 6. Think about that. Think about that. That if they had ended, or I guess no, they would have had to keep 4, 5, 6, just do a 2-film deal, and call that good. Um, but usually, what do you get? You usually get a trilogy, which surprised that they didn't. Back in 2011 when they released Scream 4, they just like that was it, and then it was weird. It was just like this weird little entry in the franchise that's just like this placeholder, and then you had to wait another whatever so many years till the next one. I think we had to wait another 10. I think we had to wait another 10 or 11 years till another film came along, and sadly, we lost Wes Craven in that time. Rest in peace. such an amazing, visionary, and he came up with so many iconic characters that we know and love today. Um, Sorry, I don't want to add this on a sad note, but yeah, leave me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I love hearing what you guys think, and I love chatting with you about these topics. And yeah, if you like my my content on this channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, my friends, keep killing it out there, my friends, and just remember, don't get caught.
Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you.